Hey everyone, so today I am going to be telling you guys my favorite eyeshadow palettes. Currently, I will be doing a favorite eyeshadow palette video of all the palettes from 2020 at the end of the year, but I asked if you guys wanted to see my current favorite eyeshadow palettes, and y'all said yes. So if you want to hear little mini reviews and see eye looks with some of these beautiful eyeshadow palettes, just keep watching. As you guys can see, I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes here. Now, y'all know if you've seen my other videos. If you haven't, I'll link them in the cards and down below, but this is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes right now. It is stunning. It's the Glamlight Ice Cream Dream eyeshadow palette. I'll show you guys some looks I've done with this. It's just stunning. The mattes are amazing. I haven't had so much love for a formula since ColourPop started, and that's saying something. They are a second formula-wise that I love to ColourPop. I really like this palette. I do personally think, and I've mentioned this before, that the shade Cookie Dough and Salted Caramel, you don't need both. They're basically the same color once you actually use them. It's just that Salted Caramel has more intensity to it, a little bit glittery metallic loveliness, but so you could have gotten rid of Cookie Dough and put in maybe a darker matte, because this palette you can't really go super deep. You do have you have this dark chocolate brown in this black cherry shade, but that's literally the darkest you can go. But this isn't exactly meant to be a dark palette. It's fun pastels, brights. This is definitely one of my favorite palettes of 2020, but also currently I love this one so much. Another brand that I personally am in love with is Melt Cosmetics. I love their eyeshadow formula. They do have expensive makeup. It's not very affordable. That being said, though, the formulas are amazing. I love their liquid lipsticks. The applicator on that, it's muy bueno. It's so good. This palette, though, is the 420 palette, and it's just stunning. I love these green shades and then this yellow. And I'm not a person who likes neutral shades. I'm more of a bright person, but those green shades always get me. And then that yellow, and even the idea of mixing these warm, beautiful browns with the yellows and the greens, it just makes me like this palette so much. I ended up getting rid of my Gemini palette, and I kind of wish I didn't, because it's not available on Sephora Canada anymore. So if I want to order it, kind of have to do it through their website. But 420 is definitely one of my favorites. I love their formula, and fingers crossed that I can get the new Beetlejuice collection before it sells out. Surprising favorite of mine is the Stormy palette by Kylie Cosmetics. This is the only Kylie palette that I currently own. I bought most of her palettes and then ended up decluttering them because they just weren't for me. Formula-wise, it wasn't my favorite, but this palette, stunning. Love the color story. Of course, you got those purples, which I love. That little, light peachy orange is stunning. Stunning. I love it on the lower lash line. That's how I did in a look, the look I did for my fiance's cousins, who's a little sister for me, her 12th grade graduation. I used this palette, and it's just, oh, I love this palette so much. It is stunning, and the quality is really nice, so I hope that Kylie comes out with more color stories that I like, because I would like to purchase more from her. I recently got this palette. This is the Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette by Bperfect Cosmetics in collaboration with Stacey Marie. This palette is stunning. When I saw the sneak peeks for this, I was like, yes. But then when I got the palette, I was like, yes! It's just stunning. I love this so much. I love that you got green tones, and of course I love those olive poopy greens, and then you have this baby poop brown color. I love that. And then you of course have natural shades, which for me, I don't care. But then you have corals, you have oranges, you have reds, you have pinks, you have purples, you have everything you need, and this is definitely a really good formula. It is somewhat expensive, but it's not Natasha Denona expensive. Now that is expensive. This is a really nice palette, and I would recommend it. Definitely one of my favorites. I love this BH Cosmetics palette, and I wasn't even 100% on getting it. I don't think I bought it the day it launched. I think I waited, and then I was like, you know what? That color story has me. It's the Drop Dead Gorgeous Full On Crazy palette. The mattes in this palette, BH Cosmetics has stepped up their game. Like, their formula is great. I don't have any issues. Even this blue, which these blues are hard to formulate, it's amazing. I will show you the looks I've done with this palette because I think I've done like a blue look, a red look, like I did a purple and blue look. Like, we got it going on. Like, I love this palette. It's definitely one of my favorites. And even though 2 of my shades came smashed, it sucks, but I just love them so, so much. And I'm so happy that I bought this palette. I would definitely get a ton of use out of it. A palette that I recently rediscovered in my collection was the Mercury Retrograde palette by Huda Beauty. This palette, when I was thinking about palettes I wanted to declutter, I thought of this one because I was like, you know, I haven't reached for this since I bought it. It looks kind of dull, but am I wrong? I went and watched like an eye swatch video for this palette and I was blown away. Like, this like lilac shade, you would think it's like soft and subdued. It's more pastel and intense than you think. Same with all the other shades. Like, you have natural shades, but then you have these beautiful pops of color that are just stunning. And I do really, really like this palette. And I did a look with it and I love it. Like, I just love the formula in this palette and I'm glad I rediscovered it because it is now one of my current favorites. When you need some pink eyeshadows in your life, I like reaching for the Sweet Pinks by Juvia's Place. Now, this little palette is stunning. This is a shade that I don't care about. It's just one of those like pinky, like rosy gold sort of shades. I can take it or leave it, but the rest of these, girl, guys, non-binary people, like, they are intense, they are fun. Like, these are the type of metallics I want in my life. Like, we don't want these like subtle shimmers, we want bam. Like, these are so, so good, you guys. Like, and these pans are huge, like, compared to my thumb, like, hello, it's so, so stunning. If you're wondering what's on my horrible looking nails, it's Holo Taco. It's always Holo Taco nowadays. I love it so much. It's the 2 cat nail polishes, so just in case anyone cares. Still, I'm like, this is my go-to nail polish, honestly, not gonna lie. Like, these 2, I've been doing this combination for ages. On my other hand, I added some of the unicorn skins on top and oh, I love it so much. Back to this beautiful palette. I like the simplicity of it. Like, yes, with only having 6 eyeshadows, you don't have a ton of different looks you can do. But the fact that there's 3 mattes, I like. I would have liked if they could have maybe done this one either a bit more of an inner corner shade or just made it a matte shade. But, I mean, I'm not going to be, like, too picky about it because I love the other shades. Like, this pink is so unique. I don't even think I have another pink like it, and I will show you guys the pink look I did it without the metallic and then with the metallic, and with the metallic it was just, oh, it was amazing. This is probably one of my favorite pink eyeshadows ever, which is why it is one of my current favorites. A favorite for the holidays that I recently rediscovered is the Frozen 2 Elsa palette. It is just like a stunning holiday theme in my opinion. Like, I like that you have this like pop of blue, you have these dark like burgundies. The glitter, I mean, I'd take or leave. I know most people don't like glitters, but I would personally just use it like further out on my inner corner or on my cheek, like over top of highlighter. But honestly, like, this palette is stunning and I'm so glad I did buy both of them because this is probably my favorite. I just love the like wintry tones, and even like, I mean, the packaging obviously makes you think of like the holidays just because of the fact that there's snow and stuff, at least for me. And I do love Frozen 2 was awesome, so I really love these palettes, but this one is just so good for winter in my opinion. Like, this blue isn't the most like amazing formulated blue, this shade, but is unique enough that I like this palette. And I know that for the winter, especially since we just had a snowstorm, actually, we got like a lot of snow. Like, we were actually snowed in for a day. It was intense, but like, this palette just makes me think of snow in winter and it just makes me really happy. and I know I'm going to be using this a ton, so it's definitely like one of my favorites. For honorary mentions, we have the Frozen 2 Anna palette. This palette like makes me think of like fall. Like looking at it, it definitely is more of like a fall palette, which we're still in fall, I think, but you know, here I'm more so like getting into like the wintry Christmas sort of like darker grungy looks. But this palette, like, I like the tones in it. Like, you guys know that I'm not a big fan of natural shades, obviously, but I like how the purples and the browns can go together nicely. This isn't like one of my top favorites right now, but I did want to mention it. And then we have Juvia's Place Nubian Royal palette. I will be doing a ranking my last 10 eyeshadow palettes that I've gotten when I acquire 10 more eyeshadow palettes, and this will be one of them. This palette is stunning, and it is definitely one of my favorites right now. I just haven't used enough to be able to say I love it more than anything, but this shade alone is so worth it. It's the most stunning, like, purple, like, duochrome, and this glitter, y'all know I'm not the biggest fan of pressed glitters, but like, it is insanely amazing. I really want to pick up the Wahala 2 palette so bad, but I can't afford it, so I'm like hoping it doesn't sell out and they keep bringing it back, but you never know, so I'm hoping I can pick that up. But the Nubian Royal is definitely a favorite. Like, I love the purple tones, and this dark purple is actually really good, especially because these are hard to formulate, so I'm happy with this palette.
Are you guys surprised?
My top favorite is the Nikkietutorials palette. This is my favorite right now. This is my favorite of the year, like, thus far anyways. It is just stunning. Like, I love the bright colors. I love even the natural colors because, like, they're not, like, many, you know what I mean? Like, there's not a ton of, like, natural shades. And even, like, the shimmers that are kind of natural, they're still, like, they still have something to them that makes me feel like I'm not doing a boring look. That being said, though, the brights obviously get me. I love this palette. I've talked about it so many times, so I don't want to like spend 10 years of your time talking about it, but I will include an eye look I did with this, and it's just stunning. I love this palette. I personally had good formulation in mind. I love it. It's definitely one of my favorite palettes ever, so this is definitely a palette that I'm going to keep using over and over and over again, and I can't wait to use it. Lastly, we have the Sunset Horizons Beautybay palette. Now, honestly, I thought that I would like Book of Magic more, but I did a sunset look with this palette, and I'm in love. Like, yes, some of these shades are not good on the lid. Like, this orange did not do good on the lid at all or in my inner corner, but blended out into the crease, beautiful, and it blended out on the edges of my lid good, so it could have just been me having a bad, like, eye day. But this palette, stunning. I really like it. Like, I love the sunset vibes, and I can't wait to dip into the dark shades because, like, I'm excited for it. So I've used this, I think, 2 times, and it's already one of my favorites. Like, I don't have to use something a million times to know that I love it, especially because, like, this shade, this Flamingo Pinky Red, oh, I love it so much that it's worth this whole palette. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe, comment down below any videos you'd like to see me do. Go follow my Instagram and TikTok, Makeup by Tasha XO, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.